Have you ever stopped to think that the replacement of more expensive does not always guarantee the highest salary while millions of Americans are falling into debt in the schools of the elite? There exists a select group of professionals who are earning a fortune without ever having set foot in a Harvard or Yale. And the most shocking, many of these careers are viewed as a work hard or simple jobs for the company. Get ready, because you're going to discover today it may completely change your view of success in his career in the United States of America. We're talking about people who started from zero with no debt, student's empire, and today invoice amounts which would make even a lawyer trained at Princeton University's rethinking his life choices. The inconvenient truth that no one wants to admit is that the educational system in the traditional one sold you a lie. They say that you are in need of a prestigious diploma for it to be successful. But the numbers tell a different story. Imagine that you invest $250,000 in a bachelor's degree at an Ivy League, spending 4 years studying the theory, and then to find out that her colleague, who has chosen an alternative path to winning the double of their salary. Seems really unfair, undoubted. But this is the reality for thousands of Americans are on at this very moment in time. Now, you will learn about the 6 careers that seem to defy all conventions of prestige and income. Some of the careers that you've probably never seriously considered. Some may even appear to be inferior to the first. But when you find out just how much these people actually win, their jaw will drop. And here's the most important detail. These are not the bare exceptions. We're talking about the careers that demand is increasing with thousands of open positions and earnings which continue to rise year after year after year. As recent graduates of the Ivy League are struggling to pay off their student loans, with starting salaries of $50,000 to $60,000 per year, they are now building up its royal heritage. Friday, the profession in this list, it is so lucrative that you are not going to believe it until you see it in the numbers. We're talking about the income that easily outweigh the brand name of a $200 billion per year, and in some cases getting close to $500,000. And what's amazing to the majority of people is the nose when you're listening to talk of that row. But before we disclose what it is, let's start our countdown. And can guarantee you one thing. Each and every profession in which you are going to find will surprise you more than the one before. Career number 6. The tech lift. Let's start out with a degree that the majority of people never stops to think about it. The tech of elevators. Yes, those are the people that fix and maintain elevators which you will use every day without even noticing. Now, please pay attention to this paragraph. The average salary for a service technician to ski in the United States is $88,000 per year. But wait, because it gets even better. Experienced in major cities such as New York, San Francisco, or Chicago's easily to get beyond the brand name for $100,000 a year. And the best people, those who work in high-rise, commercial, or make the services of an emergency, you can win up to $130,000 or more. Think of it as a recent graduate of business administration from Columbia University, and it comes with a debt student body of about $200,000, and with a starting salary of $65,000 a year. You do the maths. The tech of elevators is saving you money from the very first day. And as a graduate of the Ivy League, it will take decades to pay off their debts. But what makes this profession so profitable? First of all, on demand. The entire hotel in New York City is full of buildings with a lift, which will need constant maintenance. Second, the level of complexity. Modern elevators are sophisticated machines with hydraulic systems, electrical, and computer. It is not just a person who can fix it. Third, the risk of working with a lift involves time, heavy machinery, and potentially hazardous situations. And here's a secret that few people know. You don't need a college degree to join in the round. Most of the technicians start out as an apprentice in a program of the union by earning while learning. After 4 years of training, become certified professionals with $0 in debt as a student. Think about it. As a student at an Ivy League is currently in the 3rd year of college, racking up debt, and the study of economic theory, the learner tech elevator is already earning $40,000 per year, and the learning of practical skills. When they arrive at the age of 25 years, who do you think you are in a better financial position? If you're beginning to question everything that I have told you about career and success, then you are not alone. And in the next few professions that will shock you even more. But before we go on, you will pause for 2 seconds and then click on the button to sign up here down in the channel Salary Uncovered. Turn on the bell to not miss out on any video we have revealed to you the truth about salaries in that no one wants you to know. And please share this video with one friend or family member that you are thinking of making a college guy. This information could literally change your financial life of a person. But back to the technical lift. You have one more thing matters: the benefits as well. Many of them work through the trade unions are strong, and that means a health plan for the full pension is guaranteed, and the protection of labor. Many of the graduates of the Ivy League, especially those in the startups or smaller businesses, you do not have even half the benefits. There's more. Technical lift, often doing extra hours, especially in the emergency services. These shifts are to be paid an additional 50 to 100% of the basic salary. On a good week, a technician can easily add $1,000 to $2,000 in extra in your paycheck. In the profession, it also offers something that few people in the office, providing choice. One day you are working in a luxury hotel, and on the other is in the hospital and then in a commercial building. You're not stuck behind a desk staring at a screen for 8 hours a day. And what about the future? The demand for technical lifts will only grow. The cities are building more high-rise buildings. The old buildings will need to modernize their systems. And with a shortage of qualified teachers, the salaries are going up. The career of the operator of the nuclear power plant now. Let us go up to the next level. In the fifth place are going for a profession that combines the liability to the extreme with financial compensation is exceptional. The operator of a nuclear power plant. Get ready for this one number. The average salary for an operator of a nuclear power plant in the United States, it is $104,000 a year. However, this is only the beginning. The operators of senior power from the large regular basis make $130,000, $150,000 a year. And all the operators in the main, those who supervise shifts in the integer, you can easily exceed $171,000. We're going to put it in perspective. To an engineer, recently graduated from MIT, you can start earning $75,000. The operator of the nuclear power plant, with 5 years of experience and is now earning almost twice as high. And no, the debt of the student $350,000 which he graduated from MIT in charge. But these wages are so high simple. We're talking about authority to operate the equipment, which generate energy for hundreds of millions of people. The responsibility is huge. One mistake can have catastrophic consequences. For this reason, the operators will go through intensive training and they are compensated adequately for the level of expertise required. And here's the cool part. You don't need a college degree to become an operator of a nuclear power plant. There are many who enter with a high school diploma and entering the training programs of its own production facilities. Some of them have prior experience in the U.S. Navy, where they learned about the country's nuclear energy. The typical path involves starting as an assistant, making anywhere between $40,000 and $55,000 while you're learning. After a 2 to 5 year training and certification, you become a licensed operator. And it is here that the wages soar. Think of it as someone who spent 4 years and a $250,000 to a college in the Ivy League, while a university student attending lectures and writing academic papers. And the future of the operator of the nuclear is already making money and learning a skill that very few people have mastered. And the benefits of nuclear power plants provide some of the best benefits packages in the nation. Health insurance premium, life insurance, retirement, generous and often annual bonus based on performance and security. There's more. Job security is outstanding. Once you are licensed and working at a power plant, you have a job pretty much guaranteed. The plants are investing so much in the training of their operators, who do all they can to hold on to them. Several traders spend their entire career of 30 years in the same plant and accumulate increases and constant and increasing benefits. And what about the style of your life? Yes, the work is, in turn, can be challenging. But many operators are working in 3 or 4 days and then have 3 or 4 days. If you think half of the month free, try to be able to do this in a corporate office, not even with a degree from Harvard Law School. In the profession, it also offers you something very rare. Respect yourselves. When you say that you operate a nuclear power plant, people are recognizing the importance and the complexity of what you do. It is not such as to say that you are working on the data analysis or strategic advice in vague terms that no one really understands. What about the future with the growing concern about climate change and the need for clean energy? The nuclear power plants are coming to the fore. The U.S. government has been investing in new power plants and the extension of the useful life of the existing ones. The demand for skilled operators will remain strong for decades to come. Career 4, air traffic controller. We come now to the fourth position. And it is a profession that many people admire, but few of them really take into account air traffic controller. Hold on tight, because this one number, it will not fail to impress. The average salary for an air traffic controller in the United States is $130,000 a year. That's right, $131,000. But wait, because at busy airports such as Atlanta, Chicago O'Hare, or Los Angeles, which have the drivers and experience to easily make $150,000 and $350,000 a year, and the drivers for the senior positions of supervision, up to a maximum of $200,000. Let's do a quick comparison. A lawyer recently graduated from Yale Law School, is one of the best law schools in the country, and start earning about $140,000 to a very large office. But there is a debt of the student $350,000, and it is going to work 80 hours a week. An air traffic controller with 5 years of experience earns roughly the same amount with no debt, working a 40 hours per week. What makes his job so well paid? The extreme pressure. You're literally holding thousands of lives in the safes every day. An error in the calculation of a moment of distraction, and the consequences can be life-threatening. It is not an exaggeration to say that this is one of the professions, the most stressful out there. But here's the thing, the detail is fascinating to you. You don't need a college degree to become an air traffic controller. The Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, have your own training program. You will need to pass rigorous testing, the completion of the Academy, Federal Aviation Administration in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and then back on the job training. But you don't need 4 years in college and a mountain of debt. I hope that by now you are noticing a pattern here. For the more lucrative careers that are not always the ones that require degrees are expensive. Many of the times, they are professions and practices are in high demand and real responsibility. If you like this content and want more, they learn about salaries staggering in the United States. You can leave a comment below saying which one of these careers you made the biggest impression so far. I'm curious to know what you're thinking. Go back to the air traffic controllers. The selection process is highly competitive. The Federal Aviation Administration receives tens of thousands of candidates per year, and only a couple of thousand. Are you in need of a spatial reasoning and exceptional ability to make quick decisions under pressure, and the ability to maintain absolute focus for hours on end? Once accepted, you will start off as a trainee in making anywhere between $40,000 and $5,000 and $55,000. However, as you complete a certification, and it is assigned to the airports higher, your wage goes up very quickly. 5 years ago, you could easily be earning $100,000. And the benefits as an employee of the Federal Air Traffic Controllers have a top-of-the-line benefits. The plan of excellent health, retirement, federal government, paid time off, generous, and it's something that almost no longer exists in the private sector. Retirement compulsory age of 56-year-old bed and breakfast. Yes, you read that right. Retirement mandatory age of 56 years of age. This means that if you start at the age of 25, can retire at age 56 is a federal pension which pays for about 50 to 60% of their final salary. Forever. Meanwhile, his fellow graduate at Princeton University will be working on in the 70s to pay off the student loan and try to earn anything for retirement. In the profession, it also offers a level of geographical mobility. There are airports in all the states. If you want to live in Florida, and it has job openings. Do you prefer the mountains of Colorado? It also has the. You want to be close to family. In every corner of the country you probably have an airport that is close to needing the driver. And it has a psychological aspect is important. A sense of purpose. Throughout the day you're going to get home and knowing that has kept thousands of people to be safe. Have you ensured that the families arrive at your destination? What business travelers to complete their journeys? That is a medical emergency to arrive on time. There are many occupations that offer this level of meaning in the tangible. Career in 3 parts. The manager of the construction. Now we have entered in the top 3. And this is where things get really interesting. The third place goes to a degree that many of the people associated erroneously with the legwork, the manager of the building. Prepare your brain for this one number. The average salary for a construction manager in the United States of America is the $145,000 a year. But that's just the national average. In the big cities and projects, including commercial shipping, construction managers to easily make $181,000 to $221,000 a year. And project managers in the game works for high-rise buildings, stadiums, infrastructure, and government can exceed $200,000 when you get a bonus and profit sharing. Let that sink in for a moment. $300,000. This is more than a majority of the physicians, more than a lot of lawyers, and it's definitely more than the vast majority of students for the Ivy League win in the first 10 years of his career. As someone who gets to those numbers without a diploma, dear, the typical path starts at the construction site. Many of the managers of the building will begin as laborers, carpenters, electricians, or plumbers. They'll have between $30,000 and $5,000 and $45,000 in the beginning, but they learn the business from the inside to the outside. After a couple of years ago, they moved to positions of supervision of staffs, earning between $60,000 and $70,000 and $5,000. Then come to the supervision of the project, where the wages jump up to $91,000, $110,000 a year. And finally, the management of a building full, where all the numbers that you mentioned, if you make it a reality. Some people are technical schools. 2-year construction management cost perhaps $20,000 in total. Think of it as the $300,000 a bachelor's degree at an Ivy League. The math is clear. But why the salaries are so high? First, the responsibility for the mass. A construction manager is to oversee projects in the millions or even billions of dollars. A delay of up to 1 week and can cost in the hundreds of thousands. An error of planning may result in legal proceedings. Second, the complexity of the extreme. You are in charge of coordinating the dozens of contractors. Managing the budgets are huge, navigating regulations complicated, and making sure that everything happens on time and on budget. And the third, a shortage of talent. There is a severe shortage of managers in construction, the skilled in the USA. With the boom in the building, the post-pandemic has created the demand for it is huge, but there are not enough people with the required expertise. When the demand exceeds the supply, wages will explode. For the benefit of the profession goes beyond just the paycheck. Many construction managers are given trucks in the business, fuel card, phone, and laptop. A few will earn the bonus quarterly, based on the project completed on time and within your budget. Others to receive a share in the profits when a company has a good year. And you have to question the sense of satisfaction. Imagine being able to point to a building, a bridge, a hospital, a school, and you say, built that. This is the level of the tangible impact that is rare in any profession. As a financial analyst in the Ivy League, you move the numbers into a spreadsheet, the manager of the building that is literally shaping the world of fitness. In the profession, it also offers a level of autonomy. You are in the construction site by taking real decisions that affect the outcome of the project. It is not in a cubicle waiting for the approval of the 6 levels of management in order to change a decimal to a report. If there is a problem, you will cut it. If you need more features, you will allocate. You have the power. And what about the future? The demand is astronomical. The United States has been a lack of infrastructure is estimated to be in the trillions of dollars. Bridges need to be rebuilt. The roads need to be repavimentadas. Schools need to be renovated. Hospitals will need to be extended. Renewable energy projects are blowing up. Over the next decade will be a golden age for design. It has an additional detail that very few people realize. The managers of the construction of the well-known, often opening their own business. Once you have the experience, the contacts, and reputation, you can then start his own construction company. And that's where the numbers really take off. The owners of the business of building successful, you can easily earn $100,000 to $1 million a year or more. We are reaching out to those most profitable in the list, and the next 2 will quite literally make your jaw drop. But before any of that, if you are realizing the value of this information, is to do a favor to yourselves. Now click on the button to subscribe to your channel to Uncovered. Seriously, you can pause the video for about 2 seconds and click on it. Why, you ask? Because information is power. And knowing these facts about the salary, you can change your decisions for your career or for the decisions of their children. And don't forget to click the bell to get notifications every time we post a new video revealing the truth about money is that traditional media ignores. Try to find a job in an office that offers this kind of potential for growth and independence. It is next to impossible. In most companies, you're stuck in a rigid, depending on the promotion, which may or may not come in competition with hundreds of other graduates of the Ivy League, by the same title and management. In the world of the building, its success depends on the results of a difference. You delivered the project on time, it was in the budget, the quality was great. If so, you are going to go. It doesn't matter where you went or who you know. The career of two. A pilot of a commercial airline. Now we come to the second position, and this job is the salary and wonderful with a way of life that many envy. A pilot of a commercial airline. Get ready because these numbers are staggering. The average salary of a pilot in a commercial airline in the United States is $160,000 per year. However, this is only the beginning of the story. The pilots at the major airlines such as Delta, United, and American Airlines to easily make about $200,000 and $300,000 per year after a few years of experience. And by the officers on international route for long range, they regularly exceed $250,000 a year. Yes, you read that correctly. $250,000. This is more than a majority of the CEOs of small and medium-sized companies. More than a lot of doctors and specialists. And it's definitely more than just about any graduate of the Ivy League are going to win in the first 15 years of his career. Let's put this in perspective. Whatever. A Harvard MBA will cost approximately $250,000 in tuition, plus 2 years of lost income. The graduate is out and waiting to win $150,000 in the first job in consulting or finance. Meanwhile, a pilot who began his career at the age of 22 years ago, after spending perhaps $80,000 to flight training, and is already earning about $200,000 to 35 years old with no debt and student. How does one become a commercial pilot without a college degree? Dear, the most common way, it begins with driver's licenses and private business. You can get into school for aviation for a period of $60,000 to $80,000 in total. Once you rack up hours of flight time as an instructor for the flight, the pilot, or of the charter, making anywhere between $30,000 and $45,000, and build up your experience. Once you've accumulated 1,500 hours of flight time, you may be able to work in a regional airline, where he started making anywhere between $50,000 and $310,000. After 3 to 5 years, you will have the experience and enough time to apply for a major airline, and where the salary is really chipping. A first officer at a major airline to start winning some of the $91,000. But with the progression of the annual automatic based on time and service, and the number goes up very quickly. At the age of 5, then you are in the $140,000 a year. At the age of 10, $165,000 a year. And when you go to the captain, and the numbers go up into the stratosphere. But the pay is only part of the story. The benefits for the airline pilots are legendary. First, the air tickets, which are either free or heavily subsidized for you and your family. Would you like to visit Europe at the end of the week? Do not do this. Want to take your parents to Hawaii? No problem. The value of these passages, you can easily add another $20,000 to $30,000 a year in benefits. Second, the hours are amazing. Yeah, you work out when you're in the air, but the pilots typically work 12 to 15 days for each month. The rest is just spare time. If you think half of the month off while you earn $200,000 a year, try to be able to do this in a corporate office. Third, retirement and generous. The major airlines that still offer a pension plan, something that has all but disappeared from the private sector. Pilots can retire at the age of 65 with a pension that will pay $100,000 or more a year for the rest of your life. And to have the style of life, you will visit different locations constantly. Located in the hotel, you have layovers at the targets of interest, while his co-worker formed in Princeton. Be stuck in an office with no windows looking at the spreadsheets. You are literally flying around the world. The profession also offers the prestige of the genuine article. When you say you are a pilot of the air, and the people are amazed, there is a universal recognition of the skills and training required for it. And what about the future? The demand for pilots is huge and is only going to grow. The airline is facing a severe shortage of pilots due to retirements bulk of the baby boomers. Thousands of pilots are retiring in the next 5 years, and there are no new drivers enough to fill in for them. This means wages rising and bonuses generous. A number of airlines are now offering bonuses of $50,000 to $100,000 for experienced riders. Some of it is paying off the loans for flight training to attract new talent. It's a seller's market and will continue to be so for decades to come. You also have the stability. Because you're in for a major airline and have a few years, you got a job pretty much guaranteed. The airline companies are investing millions in the training of the rider. They're not going to resign from the top of the pipe. And the sense of satisfaction, you are carrying hundreds of people all day, connecting to families, allowing the business, making it possible travel. There is a real sense of purpose and responsibility. Compare that to the many jobs in the business where the graduates of the Ivy League and spend days in endless meetings and discussing strategies are never implemented, creating a presentation that no one reads, or analyzing data that do not lead to any real action. Where's the meaning in that career? Diver, a commercial deep water, and now we get to the number one. The profession that pays more than just about any career in the Ivy League, but the majority of the people would never consider. A career that combines the extreme danger, ability, exceptional technology, and financial compensation is absolutely an extraordinary one. Ladies and gentlemen of the profession's number one is this. Diver, a commercial deep water drilling, especially for those who work on offshore oil rigs and construct underwater. Hang in there because this number is going to hatch. Divers, a commercial deep water, you can earn between $100,000 and $250,000 a year. But with the divers of saturation for those who are working in the depths of extreme project in the oil and gas, regularly making between $500,000 and $500,000 a year. And in a project, especially a dangerous or complex, and some of the divers are more than $1 million a year. Let that sink in. $1 million a year, without a college degree, without the debt of a student, just pure skill, courage, and a willingness to do the work that only a few people can or want to do. To put that into context, a surgeon graduated from the Johns Hopkins University after 4 years of college, 4 years of medical, and 5 years of residence for 13 long years of training in total, and the $500,000 in debt, you can win $250,000 a year. Percentage of saturation, there is more than that after just 5 years of work experience, starting at the age of 22 years of age or older. How can do this? Why are these wages were so massive? For 3 reasons. The danger of the extreme demands of criticism, and a scarcity such as a skilled worker. First, there is the danger. Saturation diving involves living in a pressurized chamber for 2 weeks, working at a depth of about 300 to 600 feet or more in cold water, often in terms of visibility to zero, for welding structures made of metal, cutting through pipes, or by making repairs to the equipment of $1 million. One mistake can be fatal. Of the goods of inadequate, it can cause decompression sickness and a difficult task. Equipment is defective, it may mean his death. According to the demand, offshore oil rigs in need of constant maintenance. Subsea pipelines may need to be repaired. Offshore structures in need of inspection and repair. And there's a robot that is able to do all of this you'll need from the handphones. When the platform is at a standstill waiting for a repair business, the company is losing millions of dollars every day. They are going to pay the price to bring in a certified diver down right away. Third, not enough. Very few people have the combination of technical skill, physical fitness, psychological stability, and the courage it takes to do the job. The diving school shopping is accurate. The completion rate is low. And the dropout rate in the first few years of my career, it's also the largest. Simply, there are divers enough to meet the demand. If your mind is blowing up right now, you're not alone. This is information that completely changes the way you talk about education and careers. And if you think about it, your friends, your family, or your child needs to see it. Do yourself a favor to the world, please share this video. Seriously, click on the share button. Create and send one group to the family on WhatsApp. The post on your social media. This information could literally change the course of lives. And please leave a comment saying which one of the 6 careers that you had never considered before, what surprised you the most. Want to know what you guys are thinking about it. Go back to the divers for commercial. As someone who comes to this country, you will start off with a certification in recreational scuba diving, then goes into a school in the dive business. There are several of us in the United States, and is training hard for 6 months to 2 years. The cost between $1,500 and $41,000. a fraction of the cost of 1 year at an Ivy League university. During training, you learn to weld underwater, flame cutting, the use of hydraulic tools, procedures, safety, security, and medicine of hyperbaric. You will also pass by the fitness to intense because the job is very demanding. After graduation, you start out as a tender. It's basically a wizard of diver making anywhere from $40,000 to $60,000. If you take care of your equipment, watches, divers, and you can learn more about your business. After 1 or 2 years, you get to take the plunge, first in shallow water depths, and more was simple, making anywhere from $80,000 to $100,000. As you gain experience and certifications in advanced settings, you can go to work in the depths of the biggest and most complex projects. It is here that the salary is really exploding. Scuba divers in saturation on the oil rigs in the Gulf of Mexico and the North Sea. You can easily earn $100,000 or more, working for 6 months to a year. Yes, that's 6 months old. Scuba divers in saturation, often working at the speed of 28 days of work, followed by a 28-day holiday. It means that you work 1/2 of the year and the other half is totally free. And for the last 6 months of hard work, you're picking up what a lot of people do not put on 5 years of age. But let's be honest about the costs. In this work, it is brutal on the body. The high pressure, extreme cold, and the hard physical work and charge a price. Many of the divers get to retire at 40 or 45 years of age. But here's the thing, the detail is crucial. Even after 20 years earning $500,000 a year, you could just as easily have accumulated $5 or $10 million in net worth. This will allow for a comfortable retirement for the rest of his life. Think of it as a corporate executive formed by the Ivy League. It works from 22 to 65, 43 years of age. During this time, it's paying off debt, student government, a mortgage on a house, the face of a city guy, and non-government schools for their children, while trying to maintain a lifestyle that is appropriate for your status. Many of them are entering the age of 65, with less of the net assets of the people who retire at 45. And it has a psychological aspect is important. When you do a job that is so challenging and unique, there is a deep sense of accomplishment. You're not just a pro replaceable in the office. You are one of the few who can do what they do. There is a pride in it. With the divers are commercial, they also have a strong community. It's a brotherhood to the people who understand the challenges and risks of the job. The friendships that are formed are in deep because you literally trust your life to our work. And what about the future? The demand is only going to grow. In the industry of oil and gas, offshore continues to expand. Renewable energy and offshore, especially in the farms of the wind, is blowing, and it requires scuba divers, commercial installation, and maintenance. Infrastructure projects like the submarine is on the increase. The population of the divers, however, without the young people enough going on in the field. This means that wages will continue to rise. Companies are offering bonuses, perks, the best, and the higher salaries in order to attract and retain the divers are qualified in this field. It is one of the few fields in which workers are able to in actual trading. It also has international opportunities. Divers, commercial Americans, are able to work in the North Sea, the Persian Gulf, Western Australia, Brazil, West Africa. This is literally in any spot of the world where there is activity in the offing. Many of these sites will pay you even more than the United States due to a lack of local skills. Some of the divers eventually be passed on to the functions of supervision or training, where you can continue earning salaries in the 6-digit highs without the physical wear on the swim smooth. Others have opened their own businesses in the services of the dive, with local users, and it's getting a portion of each and every project. And here's something no one tells you. A lot of these divers, high wage, invest your money in. They are buying real estate property is available for rental during the summer months off. To invest in the business, build portfolios of stocks after 15 to 20 years, and many of them have multiple sources of passive income in addition to the salary of a scuba diving. The lesson: so, what did we learn today? The inconvenient truth that the education system does not want you to know. Your path to wealth and financial security is not necessarily focused on college dudes, and diplomas are well established and prestigious. Just look at the numbers that we have revealed: to technical ski earning $130,000, to the operators of the nuclear power plant with 171,000 controllers in the air traffic exceeding 200,000, and the managers of the building in the 300,000 writers in business for $250,000 and scuba divers in saturation, thus exceeding $500,000 a year. These are not the rare exceptions. They are the careers of thousands of professionals in gaining that these values are right now. Meanwhile, there are millions of graduates of the Ivy League. They are struggling to pay off debt. Student government $350,000 is starting salaries of about 60 to 80,000 people. The math is simple but brutal. A young man of 22 years old that you choose one of these careers alternatives to start earning money almost immediately. He had valuable skills and at 30 years old already has a net worth of positive significance. A graduate of the Ivy League to the 30 years ago are often still in the negative and paying off debt and trying to climb up the corporate ladder. At the age of 40, the difference is even more dramatic. The professional alternative, you can have millions in assets, own home, settle investments, businesses, and financial security not real. A graduate of the Ivy League, you can be earning a decent wage finally, but still chasing after the lost decades paying off the debt. And it's not just about the money, it's a quality of life. Many of these careers offer at times for better, more free time, less stress, a political enterprise, and the most tangible and significant than most of the jobs in the office. The tech of elevators going onto the house, knowing that it was kept in buildings up and running with safety and security. The operator of a nuclear gave the power to the BN. The air traffic controller who kept the planes in the sky was confidence. The manager of construction built permanent. The pilot has connected the people and the places. The diver who continued critical infrastructure up and running. Compare this to the frustration of many jobs in the business. Endless meetings that don't lead to anything, the policy of the firm, projects that are cancelled, reports that no one reads and changes a strategy, constants, and a sense of perpetual that you are not really doing anything of importance. In fact, the company has sold a lie. They say you have to have a diploma renowned for it to be successful, which manual labor is at the bottom. What occupations are for the people who are not smart enough for university. All of this propaganda is to keep you paying a monthly title. To make it happen, some of the smartest people, the most financially successful and more fulfilled professionally, you are working in a career that has never required a college degree to be costly. And there's another major factor that no one disputes: the use of automation. Many of the jobs in the office who graduated from the Ivy League to seek him that are vulnerable to automation and artificial intelligence. Analysis of the data AI can do for you. The search legal AI is getting better at it. The financial analysis, the algorithms have already done a lot of it. But do you know what's going on? And the robots can't do that to fix the elevator in a high-rise building, to operate a nuclear power plant, manage the work of the design and construction process with dozens of variables of human behavior, weld in a pipe 100 feet deep in the ocean. Jobs that require physical skill, combined with a complex decision-making in environments that are unpredictable, they are the most resistant to automation. And that's exactly the work that we have discussed today. So, if you are looking for and you are thinking about a new career, or if you have a child considering college, you really think about it. The question in the narrative is the default. Ask yourself these questions. What really leads to financial security and a sense of satisfaction in your life? It is not necessary to be a degree too expensive from a prestigious university. Often, it is the ability to practice is valuable, and the willingness to do the hard work, and the intelligence to choose a field that is in high demand and low supply of qualified and professional staff. And if you're already in debt with a degree expensive, it's not too late. Lots of people go into this career later in life. You can make a training program for a year or two while you work. Yes, it requires a sacrifice. But in 5 years, you may find yourself in a financial situation a lot better than they would be slowly rising the corporate ladder. The final message is this: open your mind. Questions assumptions. Take a look at the actual numbers. It is not the one that society says it is the most prestigious. Because at the end of the day, you can't afford to pay rent, etc. You can't feed a family with a diploma in nice on the wall. But you can build an amazing life with a career that pays well and offers the security, and it gives meaning to their work. The 6 areas that seem to defy all that you have taught us about success and money. If in this video he opened his eyes, made you think differently about his career and education, I'll need you to do 3 things right now. You must first click on the like button here at the bottom of this. Helps the algorithm to show this video to more people who need to see this. Second, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel Salary Uncovered, just do it now and activate the bell to not miss the next videos where we're going to continue revealing the truth about wage and a career that changes lives. And finally, please share this video. Send it to your friends, family, and coworkers. A post on a social network. Because knowledge is power, and with this information, it can literally change the trajectory of your financial to anyone else. Leave a comment telling us which of the 6 careers that surprised you the most, or if you're one of them and you want to share your experience. Love to read your comments, and we'll answer as much as you can. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video. We'll reveal the secrets to money that they don't want you to know.